प्रेजेंटेड बाय Ebix कैश। हर खुशी के लिए काफी है।
Hello and welcome to the Business Today Market Special. I'm Udayan Mukherjee. With me is my co-host Abha Bakaya. Last week we got you Rakesh Jhunjhunwala on the show, and today we have for you an old friend of his and a multi-decade veteran of the stock market, Madhu Kela. Madhu, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, and I must begin by asking you how you're feeling now after such a strong rally in the market. Are you comfortable with where we are, or are you beginning to feel a little uneasy, a slight sense of vertigo?
So, Udayan, just as a background, this is the biggest possible and the wealth creation at least I have seen in my career in last 30 years, both in terms of the quantum of money being created, the quantum of wealth being generated, and also in the time frame which it has got generated. The last 18 months, global markets have seen $60 trillion of wealth creation, and India has seen something like $1.7, $1.8 trillion. Obviously this is in the backdrop that $35 trillion of new money has got printed world over. So we have to keep these facts in mind when we are assessing the markets. So again, after such a big rise and in this time frame, what is more important is there a risk of a crash? That is what investors are most worried. So is there a possibility of a correction? I would see after such a steep rise, correction could happen and will happen in an orderly manner in any market. So this market can also see corrections in times to come, and those reasons will only be known of the correction after they have occurred. But I would say I personally do not feel that we are anywhere near any crash, or I don't see any event as of now which is pointing towards any crash or anything of that kind for this market.
Could the composition of the rally be changing now, Madhu? Because over the last few days, it's quite evident that the expensive part of the market, the richly valued stocks like HDFC Bank, Asian Paints, they are not moving much further ahead. But the value part of the market, like the Coal Indias, the NTPCs of the world have started joining in. Do you see any subtle alteration in the journey?
Yeah, that's the point. This is the point which I've been making, Udayan, and that rotation will happen. In fact, I am quite positive and bullish on the value part of the markets because they have been ignored for a very, very long period of time. In some of these names which you shared and some of the other names also have not seen any appreciation whatsoever in the last 10-15 years, right? While the companies have continued to do well, their valuations have only compressed. On the other hand, then I personally feel that the economy in India is in a cyclical uptrend. And again, what is happening globally, if you see, so much money being printed and interest rate at such low level, it is only natural that money in India will come, whether it comes through FDI, whether it comes through FII flows, or whether it comes to private equity route. And that is what we have seen in the last 12-18 months. And when we have a cyclical uptrend, which is combined with such low interest rates in India, clearly the stocks which are linked more towards economy, they are likely to do well. And if I club that with the kind of under ownership a lot of these companies have, and consider again the fact that they have not made any money in the last 10-15 years, there is a real case for this value stocks coming in flavor again. As the performance starts to improve of these companies, markets will take a notice, and even a small allocation to these sectors will see significant rise in stock prices in some of these companies.
But what do you do with the part of your portfolio, Madhu, now which has already done well? Because the last 1 year and all, many stocks have gone up 2-3 times, some even more. I remember a couple of years back you were very bullish on pharmaceuticals, but now, stocks like Laurus Labs, etc., which I think you own. But now that they have gone up such a lot, what do you do with that part of the portfolio, the pharmas, the chemicals?
So, I am still selectively positive on the pharma sector from a 3 to 5 year perspective, because that China plus story which we believed in has not gone away. However, we have put a lot of incremental capital, let's say for instance, in public sector banks, and I continue to be very, very positive on that space in public sector stocks and public sector banks. Let me just give you some, synopsis of the thesis behind this conviction. To take, for instance, there were 28 banks within 3-4 years back. Now there are only 12 public sector banks left, and going by the intention of the government, there will be only 8 in the next 2 years. So that there is a significant consolidation which has happened. These stocks are very, very cheap. Some of them are quoting maybe at 1 or 1.2 times operating profit or 0.5 times book value. Significant amount of ownership is still with the government. And if IDBI really gets privatized, which is what the government intention is, and if that happens, who is to say that some other banks, public sector banks, will not get privatized in times to come? And that's a very, very big event. So they are very cheap. B, they are well provided for. Most of these banks have provided 70-80% of their gross NPL in the last 5 years or so. C, we are clearly seeing a profit and loss account improvement in a lot of these banks. If you see last quarter, and I'm quite convinced the next few quarters will be a positive surprise to the market. So if I put all of this together, and if I compare the absolute amount of market cap which is there for public sector banks, I think it makes a very, very good case for a good investment.
From the broader markets, Madhu, sub-themes that you've identified that could possibly, come out on front, really surprise the market, where you really see value and an opportunity, for some of the retail investors particularly who are looking for potential to really make multifold returns on smaller investments. Where do you see that opportunity in the market?
So I see that, as I said, I see that in an economic uptrend and economy linked stocks. We spoke about public sector banks. I've been very vocal and very positive on this entire theme of real estate sector. Whether you want to play real estate as a sector or you want to play the ancillary of real estate sector, that's another theme. The one more thing which we have liked and we continue to like is this China plus one, because you see what is happening in China. The latest in course is the power crisis which has emerged from nowhere in last 10-15 days, right? Also the situation like Evergrande, and the government intention clearly spelled out that they really are actually in a way dissuading foreign investors to invest money in large technology companies. Okay. So all this really argues well. If you are a corporation which is looking for sourcing sourcing goods, I don't think you can any longer rely only on one supply from China. And in that situation, country like India will be a very big beneficiary. Again, I will couple this with Prime Minister mission of Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is basically what the government has been talking, and the government actually has walked the talk. The amount of PLI incentives which are being given to so many sectors, that is totaling to around 2 lakh crores to be given as a PLI incentive over the next 4-5 years. All this argues really, really well for some of the manufacturing sector, specifically which are competing with China.
Right. So, Madhu, which are the specific areas in this China plus one theme that you would be betting on? Because, you could play it differently. Some are thinking of companies like Dixon, which are into outsourced manufacturing. Some are playing it through the specialty chemicals route. What's your preferred way of playing this theme?
So I like, then as I said, I like companies which are basically some companies which are there in textiles for a moment, for instance. Some of the companies which you also mentioned. Actually, pharma broadly, pharma and specialty chemicals, they broadly fall in that era. Also, Udyan, if you look at the metal companies, wherein China, for instance, was exporting 60 to 80 million tons of steel every year. It is our belief that incrementally that exports will be very negligible, and that in turn will benefit the Indian companies which are exporting, which is why you see that the prices of steel, for instance, have been very high in developed markets. They have been relatively lower in China and relatively lower in India. And so that is why, in my career, when did I see steel companies exporting 40% of their production as exports when it comes to steel? So companies like this nature will benefit, and also because our local prices are lower of steel compared to global prices. So the companies which are actually consuming steel, let's say forging companies or auto ancillary companies, even they will stand to benefit. So Udyan, this is like a buffet out there. You have to do real bottom-up work on a lot of these companies and really understand these companies, because one case, it's not like isolation. I can say that because it is China Plus, you buy it. Ultimately, a company is not only made out of China Plus. So if you do your bottom-up work, I think there are tremendous opportunities which are there in this theme.
What about consumer-facing sectors, Madhu? Because I remember a while back you were quite optimistic on liquor stocks like Radico Khaitan. Do you continue to like that part of the market, which was where demand was affected because of COVID, or has your focus shifted more to the manufacturing theme now?
Yeah, I've been an investor in that company in my wife's name, and what I must say that there has been some disturbance because of COVID, but in a longer term theme, some of these companies still continue to look attractive, because the overall consumer theme then in India is very, very powerful, with 140 crore consumers being out there. So these stocks, you have to play it from a medium to long term perspective. However, I must say as a word of caution, some of these companies, and we are not specific, we are not talking of any specific name, some of these companies are seeing ultra rich valuation. So when you are picking stocks in the consumer sector, or for instance, some of these companies which are newly getting listed, they are also like consumer companies. You have to be very, very careful as to what valuation you are paying. And within the kind of school of investing where I come from, our bias is always towards, what am I getting for what I am paying. So our bias is always towards value. So I must say that word of caution, that whoever is investing, if you understand these businesses, but do your homework completely to make sure that you don't get stuck at this ultra high valuation.
Speaking of valuations, Madhu, how are you approaching this? I mean, you spoke about ultra high valuations, and I must ask you about some of these newly listed names like Zomato. Have you been tempted to play the digital theme through some of these new names, or you remain very much a part of the old economy style investing still?
So Udyan, to be honest with you, some of these companies I don't understand, so I'm not investing. Everything which is out there, one need not understand and one need not participate. So I don't understand this valuation, and some of these things are being talked. Like I hear Paytm is going to come with a IPO and the valuation will be $25–30 billion. Now this is something which I don't understand, so I wouldn't participate into this.
That's an interesting point, Madhu, because there's so much curiosity around that. We've also seen this wave of retail participation in the stock markets that is unlike anything we've seen before. This kind of euphoria, do you expect it to kind of continue? How can we see larger participation in the stock markets? Is this just a trend because at the moment momentum is ripe? I know you talked about whether or not you see a correction, but in terms of really having a more sustained trajectory for the markets in the future, where do you see the longer term outlook?
So Abha, this participation which we are seeing, there are two ways to look at it. A, we can make a case that the participation historically has been very, very low. Like, in 140 crore population, there were only 2 crore investors investing in the stock market, right? So that participation in a way is catching up. That is also accompanied, obviously because of COVID, people have been at home, so everyone wanting to open a demat account and start to test. B, markets have been very, very good. And C, the most important reason is where is the alternatives? Real estate as a whole sector has not made money for 15 years for investors. You have 5% deposit which you get in a bank, and over and above that you end up paying taxation. So that lack of avenue is what is pursuing people to come to the stock markets. And anyone who has kept faith on equities through these times of corrections have actually got rewarded handsomely over the last 10-15 years, and I think that trend is catching up. So I don't think that this investor sentiment which has caught on will end abruptly. So as long as these markets continue to do well, we will have more and more investor participation, even from HNIs and retail come in this market.
Finally, Madhu, let me end by asking you about a point which you made when we started talking, which is that you've never in your career seen something go up so quickly, wealth creation in such a short span of time. But sometimes markets will burn out very quickly, and sometimes, like 2003 to 2008, they'll give you a 5-year window of wealth multiplication. Do you think it's the fast and furious sprint that we are seeing, or could this extend to become a bit of a marathon even?
So Udayan, the last time when market went up, obviously it gave a lot of time to investors. But this time around the rise has been very steep. So I'll repeat again by saying that I do not personally see a crash, but there is always a possibility of correction after having seen such a big rise. And if you look at, even though we feel that the participation has been very, very high, but people have always been worried through this last 1.5 years because of this corona, and the medical situation was completely out of hand in the wave 2. So obviously whoever got into this market also, a lot of those people got out of the market saying that the situation is getting out of hand. A lot of my friends who are big believers in India called me at that time that is the party getting over. So this market has actually climbed the worry as every other bull market would then. So I don't really see any reason for a very large correction. However, there will be events and there will be corrections, normal core correction which happens in the market. But to my mind, all of them will be an opportunity to buy, specifically of the companies and sectors which will do very well in India over the next 3-5 years, which we spoke about.
We'll leave it there, Madhu. Always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for finding time today.